Hello friends, I am going to take your lecture number 12 CMOS to TTL interface. In this one, CMOS will be working as a driver IC and TTL will be working as a loading IC, or TTL is a loading gates will be there. So the output of the CMOS characteristics or profile has to be compatible with the TTL input profile. What is the TTL input profile? When the TTL input is going to be low, it has to be in between 0 to 0.8 volt maximum. That means output of the CMOS device, which is connected to the input of the TTL device, that output of the CMOS device must be less than 0.8 volt for compatibility with the TTL and the low state. Similarly, the output of the CMOS must be greater than 2 volt to 5 volt, that is compatible for the TTL interface, because the TTL high state window is from the 2 volt to 5 volt for input valid input state, and hence the output of the CMOS device has to be greater than 2 volt is required up to the 5 volt. So in this section we discuss the method for interfacing CMOS device to the TTL devices. Again, the problem is to shift the voltage level until the CMOS output state fall inside the TTL input window. Then and there only the compatibility is going to be maintained. Specifically, we have to make sure that CMOS low state output is always less than zero point 0.8 volt, the maximum allowable TTL low state input voltage. Also, the CMOS high state output voltage must always be greater than 2 volt, the minimum allowable TTL high state input voltage. Moreover, we have to consider about the current also. So there are two or three different interface here it is mentioned. The first interface is that both are operating at the same supply voltage of the 5 volt. That means CMOS driver is also operating at the 5 volt, as well as the TTL is also operating at a 5 volt. So one approach is to use plus 5 volt as the supply voltage for the CMOS driver as well as for the TTL load as shown in a figure 14.42. A direct interface like this forces you to use a low power Schottky TTL load or two low power TTL loads. Why? What is the reasons? I told you that if both are working at the same supply voltage, the voltage wise there won't be problem, because the CMOS output is going to be low, that is going to be 0 volt, that is compatible in TTL input which require less than 0.8 volt, and CMOS output is going to be 5 volt which is properly required for the TTL input, which should be between 2 volt to 5 volt. But what about the currents? When the TTL is connected as in a load, that means when the TTL input currents, we have to see if there is a Schottky TTL is going to be utilized, low power Schottky TTL is going to be utilized, IIL maximum is equal to minus 360 microampere and IIH maximum is equal to 20 microamperes. That means when the TTL input is going to be low, the base emitter junction of the transistor Q1 is forward bias and the current flowing in a worst case condition is going to be 360 microampere, that has to be synced through the CMOS sink transistor, and that has to be capacity of sinking that current, and that is current is normally 360 microampere according to the data sheet of 74C00 series, and hence only the low power Schottky TTL or low power TTL, which is also having IIL maximum is equal to minus 180 microampere, which can be driven by CMOS driver. So a direct interface like this forces you to use two low power Schottky TTL load or two low power TTL loads. Why? Because low power Scotty device has a worst case input currents of IL maximum is equal to minus 360 microampere current and IH maximum is equal to 20 microampere currents. Datasheet for the 74C00 device lists this worst case output currents for the CMOS driver to driving a TTL load. IOL maximum is equal to 360 microampere and IOH maximum is equal to minus 360 microampere. That means when the output input output of the CMOS device is low, the sink transistor is sinking a maximum current of 360 microampere. This tells us that CMOS drive can sink 360 microampere in the low state, exactly the input current for the low power Scotty TTL device. On the other hand, the CMOS driver can source 360 microampere, which is more than enough to handle the high state input current, which requires only 20 microampere current when IH maximum is going to be 20 microampere in worst case condition for the TTL. But it can source 360 microampere current, which is more than enough. So in a high state, there is no problem, but the problem only arises when it is in the low state. That means the CMOS can drive the TTL or 74 low power Scotty TTL device only one load it can drive, and that's why the 74 CMOS series to 74 LS low power TTL, it is fan out capability is said to be one only. So the sink currents limits the CMOS to 74LS fan out is to be 1 only. CMOS can also drive a low power TTL 74L00 series devices. The limiting factor again is the sink current. The low power TTL has a worst case low state input current of 180 microampere current. Since CMOS driver can sink 360 microampere current, 360 divided by 180, that means 2 TTL or low power TTL it can drive. It can drive a 2 low power TTL device. Briefly stated, the CMOS to 74L fan out capability is 2. Now, can it drive the standard TTL? No. Why? Because in a standard TTL 7400 series, the input current, when the input is going to be low, that current is in a worst case condition minus 1.6 milliampere current, which is very high, very large compared to the sink current of the CMOS devices transistor. CMOS cannot drive the standard TTL directly because the latter require a low state input current of minus 1.6 milliampere, which is too much current for a CMOS device to sink without entering TTL indeterminate region. The problem is that the sink transistor of the CMOS device is equivalent to a resistance of approximately 1.11 kilo ohms. In a worst case, the CMOS output voltage equal to the product of this current 1.6 milliampere current and 1.11 kilo ohms, which is equivalent to 1.78 volt. This is too large to be the low state TTL input. What happens if it drives the standard TTL? Because in a worst case, the input current of the TTL will be 1.6 milliampere current, and that input current is passing through the CMOS sink transistor, and the CMOS sink transistor, when it is conducting, then the voltage across the drain to the source is equal to 1.11 kilo ohms, and that means the current passing through this resistance or equivalent resistance is going to be 1.6 milliampere. So the voltage drop across the drain to the source is equal to IR, that is equal to 1.11 kilo ohms multiplied by 1.6 milliampere current, which is equivalent to 1.78 volt. That means VDS will be 1.78 volt. That means output of the CMOS voltage is going to be 1.78 volt, which is very large compared to the maximum allowable voltage of 0.8 volt for the TTL, and hence it will come into indeterminate region. Now, these problems can be overcome using a CMOS buffer IC. Just like in a TTL also, there are buffer ICs which is having a higher output currents, and if the output current is going to be larger, that means it can drive more number of gates. That means fan out capability is going to be increased. The same way in a CMOS also, the CMOS buffer ICs are going to be prepared, and that CMOS buffer IC, that output currents are going to be larger than normal CMOS ICs. One of the CMOS IC, here we are going to utilize a 74C902 IC will be there. This is a hex buffer IC is there. That means there are 6 gates inside this IC, and each is having a current capacity. IOL maximum is equal to 3.6 milliampere and IOH maximum is equal to 800 microampere. That means when the output of this CMOS buffer IC is going to be low, it can sink maximum current of 3.6 milliampere current, and when the output of this buffer IC is going to be high, it can source maximum of 800 microampere current in the worst case conditions. So figure 14.43 shows how to get around the fan out limitation just discussed. The CMOS driver now connected directly to the CMOS buffer, a chip with larger output currents. For instance, a 74C902 is a hex buffer or 6 CMOS buffer in a single package. Each buffer has this worst case output currents. IOL maximum is equal to 3.6 milliampere current and IOH maximum is equal to 800 microampere currents. Now you can see that how it is connected. This is CMOS driver. All this CMOS driver, CMOS buffer as well as TTL loads are connected with the supply pin of 5 volt. That means they are operating with the VCC is equal to 5 volt. When the CMOS driver is going to be in the low state, output of the CMOS driver is going to be 0 volt. That is the input to the CMOS buffer. And output of the CMOS buffer is also going to be 0 because it is non-inverting buffer will be there. So when the output is going to be the low, this CMOS buffer is having a more current capacity. That means IOL maximum is equal to 3.6 milliampere current capacity is there. And when the output of the CMOS buffer is going to be high, it can source a maximum of 800 microampere current to the TTL load. Now, if we are connecting a standard TTL as a load, that means the input of the standard TTL in the worst case conditions, when the input of the standard TTL is going to be low, that is going to be 1.6 milliampere current, and this CMOS buffer can sink 3.6 milliampere current. That means 1.6 multiplied by 2, that is going to be 3.2. That means at least 2 standard TTL load it can drive directly without coming any problems. In the high state, TTL load requires only 20 microamperes current, while this can source 800 microampere current. So in high state, anyway, there is no problem. So CMOS buffer can drive a 2 standard TTL loads. Since a standard TTL load has a low state input current of 1.6 milliampere and high state input current of 40 microampere, a 74C902 can drive 2 standard TTL load. So you can say that if you use 1/6 of the 74C902 in figure 14.43, the CMOS to standard TTL fan out is said to be 2, or fan out capability is going to be 2. Other available buffers are CD4049A, which is inverting buffer, CD4050A, which is going to be non-inverting buffer. Inverting means NOT gate will be there. Non-inverting means Y is equal to A will be there. And 74C901 is the inverting buffer, So such kind of different buffer ICs are going to be available, which is having a high state as well as in the low state output current capacity are going to be larger than normal CMOS ICs. So they can drive heavier load compared to the normal CMOS ICs. Now, we are interested always to use the CMOS IC with the higher voltage because it can operate from 3 volt to 15 volt and TTL can operate only at the 5 volt. But the advantage of the CMOS to operate at higher voltage is that the propagation delay time will be okay, that means speed of operation will be okay, as well as the noise immunity is also going to be very high. But if you operate both these devices at the 5 volt, this advantage of the CMOS will be lost. That means noise immunity is going to be decreased and propagation delay time is also going to be increased, and hence the speed is going to be suffer. So to overcome this advantage, we want to operate both these devices at different voltage. That means we are interested that CMOS driver should operate at 12 volt and TTL IC has to be operate at the 5 volt, no other than that. And for that, the CMOS buffer IC like 74C902 can be used, which can be utilized with the supply voltage of 3 volt to 15 volt because it is also CMOS IC. And input voltage of this CMOS buffer can have a voltage from minus 0.3 volt to 15 volt. The input voltage can be greater than the supply voltage without damaging the devices. That means the great advantage of the CMOS IC is this: even if the CMOS buffer IC is operating at 5 volt, let us consider, then also it's even if its input voltage when it is going to be in the high state, it is a 12 volt, it makes no difference, it can operate properly. So input voltage can be higher when it is going to be the high state than the supply voltage. It will not damage this IC. That is the advantage of the CMOS devices compared to TTL devices. TTL input voltage cannot be larger than 5 volt as like supply voltage. For instance, you can use a high state input of plus 12 volt even though supply voltage is only plus 5 volt. Figure 14.44 shows how to use the previous idea to our advantage here. Here the supply pin of the CMOS driver is connected to the 12 volt. That means CMOS driver we are utilizing at 12 volt. That means its all advantage is going to be maintained. So the CMOS driver is operating as usual plus 12 volt and output of the CMOS driver is connected to the CMOS buffer IC 74C902, which can operate at the supply voltage of 5 volt, but its input can be output from the CMOS driver, and CMOS driver when output is going to be high, it will provide a plus 12 volt which is input to the CMOS buffer. Even though CMOS buffer is operating at plus 5 volt, on the other hand, the supply pin of the CMOS buffer is connected to plus 5 volt to produce a TTL interface. Therefore, the input to the CMOS buffer will be as much as plus 12 volt, even if its supply voltage is only plus 5 volt. The fan out of this interface is still two standard TTL loads. You see how it is connected. The CMOS driver runs better with the plus 12 volt. So CMOS driver is connected with the supply voltage of plus 12 volt. Output of the CMOS driver, when it is going to be high, it will be plus 12 volt. In between this one, CMOS driver and TTL load, there is a CMOS buffer IC is going to be utilized, which can operate from the supply voltage from 3 volt to 15 volt, but it is connected to 5 volt to make a compatibility with the TTL interface. And its input is going to be maybe 12 volt, but still this IC can provide a compatibility with the TTL when it is connected with the plus 5 volt. So When the CMOS ice buffer is going to be in the low state, again it can sink a maximum current of 3.6 milliampere current. The standard TTL can give 1.6 milliampere current when the input of the TTL is going to be low, that is going to be less than 0 volt or 0 volt, sorry, less than 0.8 volt. So that current is sinking through this one. So CMOS buffer to the TTL load is having still a fan out capability is going to be 2. When the output of the CMOS is going to be high, that means what happens? The input of the CMOS is going to be 12 volt, but output of the CMOS driver is going to be only 5 volt, and that is compatible with the TTL load, and that way CMOS driver can run a TTL load with a low and high state in a valid way. Third type of the connections is called open drain interface. Just like open collector transistor TTL devices available, open drain TTL, open drain CMOS devices is also available. That means in output stage, instead of two transistor, only the sink transistor, n channel sink transistor is going to be present, and that drain of the sink transistor is remains floating. Like previous case, in open collector, the collector of the sink transistor was remains floating, and it has to connect through the pull up resistance to the supply voltage. Then and then only this kind of devices can work. So open drain interface is going to be possible. Recall open collector TTL devices. The output stage consists of a sink transistor with a floating collector only. Similar devices exist in the CMOS family known as open drain devices. These have an output stage consisting only of a sink MOSFET. That means it is only having a one MOSFET. There is no N channel and P channel MOSFET, but only in output stage there is only one MOSFET is going to be available, and that is a sink MOSFET is going to be available, which can sink the current of 3.6 milliampere current. If it is a buffer IC is going to be there. An example is 74C906 is a hex open drain buffer IC. So this is a hex, means in this IC there are 6 gates are going to be available, and all this gate is having open drain buffer. That means the drain is going to be floating. How it is connected? You can see that this is a CMOS driver. Now CMOS driver and CMOS buffer both are working at plus 12 volt. In a previous case, CMOS buffer was connected the supply pin of 5 volt. Now here both are CMOS devices. So CMOS devices better run with the 3 volt to 15 volt, and best is going to be between 9 to 12 volt. So CMOS driver as well as CMOS buffer both are connected with the supply pin of 12 volt. Output of the CMOS buffer is an open drain. That means its drain terminal is floating. So it has to connect to through this pull up resistance to any voltage. So when the output of the CMOS buffer is going to be low, it is sinking that currents, and output of the CMOS buffer is going to be 0 volt, and the current is passing through the 3.3 kilo ohms. So 5 volt divided by 3.3 kilo ohms, that current 1.52 milliampere current will be passing through this sink transistor. There is no problem. But when the CMOS buffer is going to be high, that means the potential at this point is going to be plus 5 volt, because this pull up resistance will see, because this transistor will not conduct, sink transistor will be off. So it will act like an open switch, and the drain is going to be pulled at the 5 volt, which is compatible for the input of the TTL load is going to be 5 volt. So it will be valid high state input for the TTL load, and that way this open drain CMOS buffer also can be utilized to drive a TTL load. Figure 14.45 shows how an open drain CMOS buffer can be used as an interface between a CMOS driver and TTL load. The supply voltage for the most of the buffer is plus 12 volt. The open drain, however, is connected to the supply voltage of plus 5 volt through a pull-up resistance of 3.3 kilo ohms. This has the advantage that both the CMOS driver and CMOS buffer runs off of plus 12 volt except for the open drain output which provides the TTL interface with the 5 volt. Thank you very much friends. This way we are completing your syllabus regarding a logic family, that is TTL logic family as well as CMOS logic family, and this chapter is going to be completed. We are completing your unit number 4 of PPH 1802. Thank you very much friends. I hope that you enjoyed this chapter. You enjoyed this both the chapter, that is TTL logic family and CMOS logic family. It will be very much utilized this knowledge for designing the logic circuit. Thank you very much friends.